Sad news, the rapper John Forté has passed away at the age of 50. The cause has not yet been announced. Forte was a friend of mine, and he was a rapper who was down with the Fugees crew. He wrote and produced on the score and released several great albums under his own name. He's a kid from the streets of Brooklyn who was brilliant and somehow made it into Phillips Exeter Academy, which changed his life. After high school, he moved to New York and was at NYU for a little while. Talib Kweli was his roommate in college. But college life wasn't for him. He wanted to be a musician, and soon he was recording with the Fugees and producing and working on his own music. But while he was building this career, he got caught up in some madness. He told me he had a desire to be seen as this wealthy rapper, but his music wasn't yet bringing in that kind of money. So he tried to move some Pepsi from Mexico to New York, and he got caught. He got sentenced to 14 years. John was a friend of mine, and while he was inside, we exchanged letters that I still have. He talked about how soul-numbingly boring it is to be inside and how dehumanizing it is. But after 8 years, his sentence was commuted by President George W. Bush. He got out.
Did he say move Pepsi?
And restarted his life and got back on track. He was making music, he was touring the world, and he was raising 2 children. He was living right. He made a mistake and rebounded from that mistake and got back on track. He lived the last part of his life the way he wanted to. John was a lovely guy, very...
They say no cause of death again. No cause of death again. John Forté, Grammy-nominated musician, found dead at age 50 in his Massachusetts home. They said he was sentenced to 14 years. Okay. Arrested at Newark International Airport and charged with possession of liquid cocaine and drug trafficking. Forte was sentenced again 14 years. That's interesting because this was trending on the 14th. Okay, this was trending on the 14th. And this guy's pretty fire as far as rapping, because look, I heard this.
What the deal, star? I seen the devil spar with the law. Mathematics was the key to set my whole race free.
That's pretty fire right there, okay?
Take a while, shaitan rob light, civilized like the...
Right, that's good stuff right there, you know. In my opinion, that would be a true hip hop sound right there for John Forté.
When Ali clocked in, John Forté, you'll keep you locked in.
Right, so that's pretty solid right there. So look, he dies. Look, he dies 18 days before his birthday, okay? Right? And this guy is connected to the group The Fugees, co-writing and producing and featuring on the landmark album called The Score, Fire album, adding significant street sound and musical depth, especially on tracks like Family Business and Cowboys, becoming a beloved Refugee Camp All-Star before facing those legal issues that I spoke of earlier. His musical style is sophisticated, a blend of hip-hop, soul, and soul, folk, and classical. But you could see, man, he dies right before his birthday, and they're not giving us a cause. And I just dropped that J. Cole decode, and J. Cole's got this new album that's coming out right after his birthday. So once again, a trending story surrounding a celebrity, this one death, John Forté, dead 18 days before his birthday. Man, remember Praz, who was of the Fugees, was sentenced to 14 years in prison. So he's sentenced to 14 years on November 20th of last year. And then this guy was sentenced to 14 years. I don't know if he was sentenced or he served 14 years, or let's see, he was sentenced 14 years but was commuted after 7 years by President George W. Bush. So look, what are the odds? What are the odds? You get the 14 connection, right? Both sentenced 14 years. They're both associated with the Fugees. You see that? Praz, a member of the Fugees. This is a Refugee Camp All-Star right here, which I guess, they're affiliated with the Fugees as well. But come on, 14 and 14. Notice how Praz was sentenced on November 20th. Look at the numbers up there. 112-0. And John Forté dies 112, January 12th. And then you get, again, November 20th. Drop the 0. Look at it as a 0, like, this is if you're looking like numerology, right? 112, and then Forte dies 112. Come on, right? And just look at the death day and the upcoming birthday. Dies on the day, leaving 353 days in the year. Birthday, the day leaving 335. So 353, 335. Same numbers. And he dies in the year 2026. Last name Forte in reverse reduction equals 26. And that J. Cole album is releasing on 2/6 as well, which I just mentioned. J. Cole, it's called The Fall Off. And The Fall Off, Fall's got F like Fugees as well. And I had this story complete. Complete before I recorded the J. Cole video. So now I see how it's connected. Look at that 2/6 right there. Right? You see that? J. Cole's new, do they still call it an album or just new joint or whatever? I don't know. But wow, 2/6. The Fall Off and J. Cole trending. And again, his birthday is January 28th. So releasing just shortly after that. So you see that connection there. And there's symbolism to all this stuff. They said something about J. Cole's hometown being called 2/6. Right here, Fayetteville, North Carolina, nicknamed the 2/6, a reference to Cumberland County, the 26th county. See? Letters and numbers are important. And this is the language we speak. You can see how the two go hand in hand here. The 26th county. Come on, man. Now we're in the year 26. Album release 2/6. Come on, man. Right? You see that right there? That's solid stuff when Forte equals 26. Right? What do you think? If you've been watching my videos, and even I dropped a live stream yesterday with Janae Snyder. We did a random little live. We talked a little bit more about LeBron James' energy right here. And remember, LeBron James equals 114, and that was yesterday's date. But John Forte, John's got the J like James. He dies on the 12th day of the year, and his birthday's on the 30th day of the year. That's LeBron's birthday, 12/30, December 30. John Forté, LeBron James, the Fugees, and Lakers all equal 42 when you're using the base ciphers here. And that's just 2 of the 4 base ciphers. So both reduction ciphers. You see that? And now we get the Fugees connected story with John Forté dying. Forte's got the F like Fugees. Right? Come on, right? And you can't deny that stuff right there, and you can't deny those connections. And you see LeBron James equals 114 with the LeBron James energy. Again, this was trending on 114, January 14. And if you watch my last few videos, you see multiple things that are trending that are also connected to LeBron James, who is a big figure on the world stage. So when showing these connections, it usually just pops right in my brain right away. Who's a big character connected with the number? And the 114 is LeBron James. Also, Diddy's birthday, November 4th, which is 114. I've mentioned some Diddy connections as well in the last few videos I've made. Even John Forté died in Massachusetts at his home. Massachusetts has 183 like LeBron James. Today is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. LeBron is King James as well. Okay. Luther, L like LeBron, L like Lakers. Come on, right? Grammy-nominated musician, known for his work with the Fugees and the Refugee Camp All-Stars, dies in Massachusetts. Did you catch that? Contributor to the Fugees Grammy winning The Score. Kind of like a scoreboard, kind of like basketball. Kind of like, hey bro, what's the score of the Lakers game? My phone died, let me know. And this guy was a member of the Refugee Camp All-Stars, kind of like LeBron James, like an all-star, like sports, like basketball. And don't they even name one of the all-star teams after LeBron, or like he's the captain or whatever? I don't know if they do that anymore. Isn't that amazing? Refugee Camp All-Stars. I just caught that one, but I had the score already there. Isn't that amazing? And that's just a random score right there. Come on, right? Isn't that amazing? Even with the Wyclef connection here, Wyclef Jean, like John Forté. Come on, you got Lauryn Hill, Praz. That 14 connection with Praz is amazing. Both being sentenced 14 years. And then this death of John Forté trending on the 14th day of the year. Right? And then that 112 connection was wild. Even Lakers equals 96 like the Fugees. The score was released in the year 96. That's also Kobe Bryant's draft year, and Kobe Bryant, his death anniversary is coming up January 26th. Even with that J. Cole connection, J has the J like James, right? Man. Kobe Bryant connection as well. Notice how this album, The Score, releases February 13, the second month and the 13th day. 213, that's an area code that serves downtown Los Angeles. and nearby areas in Los Angeles County, California. I mean, these are the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron and this connection, right? I'm not saying that that's specifically connected to exactly this part of LA with the Lakers, but come on, you got Los Angeles and you got Los Angeles with the 213, the score connection, like sports, like basketball. Come on, Refugee Camp All-Stars, LeBron with the All-Star connection. Has there been a year where he hasn't been an All-Star? I don't know. Maybe, but maybe not. The majority of the time he's going to be, you would think, an all-star, right? Wow. This 76 makes another appearance. Don't forget LeBron James passed Kobe on the scoring list, on the all-time scoring list on 125, January 25, and Kobe died the next day. That game was against the 76ers. Refugee Camp All-Stars equals 76. The sentence for John Forté was commuted after 7 years by President George W. Bush. President George W. Bush, his birthday, 7/6. John Forté was born 1 year before 76. Look how close that was. I told you 76 keeps popping up. Dave Grohl, his birthday was January 14th. Dave equals 76. Remember, LeBron James equals 114. Carl Weathers, age at death, 76. He's got the 114 birthday as well. He was Apollo Creed in Rocky. Who played Rocky? Sylvester Stallone with the 7/6 birthday. This is also 50 Cent's birthday, July 6th. 7/6, 50 Cent. John Forté dies at age 50. You see that? Fake world. 50 like Forte. You get the F and the F again. Can you see how I break this down? Damn. There was several added on amazing connections in that one. Incredible.
Very sad news to report. Grammy-nominated musician John Forté has passed away at the age of 50 years old. According to AP News, they said that the musician who you've seen collaborate with the Fugees and the Refugee Camp All-Stars, among others, died at 50. He was found Monday afternoon in his home in Chilmark, Massachusetts, according to police. The Chilmark Police Chief, Sean Slavin, said in a statement that there were no signs of foul play or, quote, readily apparent cause of death. The case is being investigated by the state medical examiner's office, according to Salvin. The AP reminds us that John Forté was a native of New York City. He was a musical prodigy who broke through in his early 20s as a contributor to the Fugees' Grammy-winning The Score and to Wyclef Jean's Grammy-nominated The Carnival. Recently, when the Fugees reunited and came back to New York City at Barclays, John Forté actually came out on stage. They say a multi-instrumentalist and rapper,
he contributed to the Carnival as well. Man, that 50 Cent connection was huge. Wyclef. Right here, 97. Contributed to this album as well. June 24. Right there. That was probably a huge album. Look at that 50 Cent connection. 50 Cent birthday. There's the 7/6. He's born the same year, 75, as John Forté. F like 50. John Forté dying at age 50. How wild is that? That's absolutely incredible right there, man. Let's look at his Wyclef again. He's got the Eminem birthday. I noticed right there. He's got that Eminem birthday. Lauryn Hill is age 50 right now. You see that? Born the same year, and that's 75. Check that out. That's big stuff right there. His Praz's birthday 2 days after Wyclef. See that right there? Jeez. And the article is nice and short, no cause of death. Of course, right? And then they bring up the negative stories associated with them. Man. There's probably more with his name, like Forte, like a 4. I don't know, maybe connected to the 50 thing. 50 Cent. Forte. 50. I don't know. 40, possibly. That's completely wild, man. John Forté, Grammy-nominated musician, found dead at 50 in his Massachusetts home. No cause of death. Nothing to see here. Until next time.